Alright guys, today on Shoky Review we are going to start something new, and we're going to start going over my 00 collection. And if anybody knows me, I am a massive 00 fan. It was one of the first real Gundam series that I dove into, and yeah, I know I got into it a little bit late, but yeah. Massive 00 fan. I love the suit designs. I actually like the series and the story. And so when I started building the very first Gundam I ever built, every first Gunpla I ever built was from 00. In fact, it was the 00. Now, we will get to that model in a little while, but for right now, we're going to talk about the model that kind of started it all with the O Gundam. So, in the world of 00, this was literally the first. This was the progenitor of all other Gundams in the series. You can see it early on in the first episode. However, this is not the original O Gundam version, which is all, gray and white. This is actually the one featured at the end of the series. I know that's tricky, but it's the O Gundam Type A.C.D, and A.C.D stands for Actual Combat Deployment, because realistically, this guy was kind of a prototype and didn't see a ton of actual combat in the past. He came in and did a few things here and there, but for the most part, it was mostly for testing, and then they developed the later generation suits from this guy. So let's take a look at the box art, and you get a great shot of O Gundam. It looks like this is probably from the final battle, in fact, because you see, like, he's on this meteor right here. You see GN particles everywhere. I love they get that particle effect just right. You got the green glowing effect everywhere. Got a great shot of him using his beam saber here. And yeah, you'll kind of notice the fact that he is very Grandpa Gundam. So realistically, in almost any Gundam series, the first Gundam you ever see is generally based kind of off of the original RX-78, especially the color scheme. We'll look more at that in a second. You got the nice little 00 logo up here. You got the HG Gundam 00. You got the little bitty other Gundam 00 thing there. Now, I've realized these things actually have the dates on them. I didn't even realize it. So this is Bandai 2009. So this is one of the older kits I have. And not the oldest, it's just older. And unlike the other kits where the name of the artist is on the side, this is actually illustrated by Naochika Morishita, and it's on the front. Now you will recognize that name from some of the IBO kits, I believe, from the Origin kits that I've reviewed recently. So same artist, even back in 2009. So he's been busy for a while, or she, whichever. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the box. Come to the bottom down here. You get the GN drive set up here, so it can show that you can either have the actual GN mode here, or the actual GN drive in there. So I have red mode, and then you actually see over here where it has the particle tank or condenser, either way, and you get a shot of the two different pilots who were piloting at the time. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Here you see some nice action gimmicks illustrating right here in the final fight. He's got his beam saber out. It shows here you can bend the elbow. The elbow does things. Where's it, the knee? That's the knee. Okay, the knee does things. It's hard to tell. Knees, elbows, all look the same, right? It's got some flexibility. You can touch your sword. You can play with the ankles there. Nice, great action pose here. I guess this is showing that the waist can do waisty linking things. Then another great shot of it here. Things move. I like how they just basically tell you, this thing moves. It's not a statue. Come over here and you get a nice little read up there on the O Gundam. And, I'm not entirely certain what that's pointing out. Something on the back. I'll have to look into that. I can't read that, obviously. I'm not. It's in Japanese, and I'm not. This is a good little shot here, though. But there's no. I don't think there's any details or panel lining on that particular version. We'll come look at that whenever we get to the actual kit. I think I know what that is, but I'll have to look at it. So go this way. You of course get a repeat of the top of the box art. This is number 45, probably one of the last models in the HG00 line. Get all the good stuff there. Now, I guess this thing came out before the websites, because I don't see the websites on the side there. come to the bottom and you get a nice front shot. No rear shot. That's weird. Old tech. Nice little spec read up there. 18 meters tall, 53.4 tons. That's pretty heavy. And of course, I love the original, the GN00. That's cool. And I love the Celestial Being logo. I've actually got that as a few things in my personal life. You get a nice little read up here of the pilot when it was Ribbon's Almark. Yeah. And I think that is supposed to be a guy. For anybody who hasn't seen the series, it looks rather feminine, yeah? Pretty sure it's supposed to be kind of a guy. But the Innovators, they were fluidly gender, we'll just say that. And then, of course, nice little warnings as we always get. Don't let anything in this box poke your 3-year-old in the face. It'll hurt. You get some good other warnings over here. It was 1,200 yen. You got the different plastics. Hey, look, even back then they had the little guy with the toilet. That's awesome. So we don't have the artist on this side, as I pointed out. It's on the front. Even back in 2009, the boxes were upside down, guys. It's okay. I still love 00. So we're going to go ahead and look at this guy. Now, I built this a while back. So, yeah. Let's get to it. Alright, guys. Now we've got O Gundam out and looking pretty epic. I really do like this suit. It is it's simple but effective. There's just something about it. Like it's not heavy on the panel lines. It's just a really clean design. Now, mind you, it's an older design, at least in the idea of 00. So maybe that makes sense as to why it's simpler. It only had so many gimmicks. And yeah, let's just do a quick walk around on this guy. You know, it does just look very much like the original Gundam. They kept that blue, you know, yellow, red scheme just dead on, you know. I think this is one of the better representations of a Gundam, not from the UC, that very well did the Grandpa Gundam. Yeah. And I really did enjoy building this kit. Although, take it off his stand here, this was a very easy kit to build. Like, I mean, it didn't take me more than a couple hours total. Like, I mean, if you guys seen me do my build videos, that for the most part it doesn't take too long. I mean, even with panel lining and stuff like that, it usually take, you know, good afternoon to build a decent new high grade, especially in the IBO line. But this literally took me maybe 2 hours total. I mean, it's just that simple. It just really is. And it's just, I really like it. Now, I did notice here, and they make it blatantly obvious on the 00 kits, the safety nubs on the V-fin. They're kind of huge. I mean, they just stand out like blocks. And I wasn't removing those just yet back when I built this guy. So maybe I will go in and actually do that. I'm going to go ahead and remove his shield for the time being so I can do the rest of the review. Pull the gun off here. So let's take a couple, gotta move stuff out of the way. Get a close-up on the head here. And you can tell it is very Grandpa Gundam. Like, just, it's almost, you could probably swap that out for an RX-78 head and almost nobody would notice. It's just that good. I mean, the V-fin's probably a little big for Grandpa, but it is pretty cool. And then you got these great, what do they call them? Clavicle antennas. The technical term, that is what they are. These actually help emit the GN particles and give it the stealthy thing where they're blocking out all of the local communications and stuff. So that's actually pretty cool. And then you get to the chest, it has these cool vents right here. You know, very angular. I do like it. It comes forward like the hood of a car. I really like that. And here you can see the front side of the GN drive right in there. And of course the cockpit would be either right here or right here. They don't really mark it on this. And you come down. Side skirts. Now this, mind you, was before I started cutting skirts. So this one is unmodified and in the raw, so to speak. Yeah, I mean, down here on the legs, you probably have the most kind of panel lining, because you would have here the leg thrusters and stuff like that. And once again, this was before I really got into doing a lot of detail work. Like if I bought this nowadays, I would probably go in here and I'd make sure all of those are blacked out with my favorite is dark gray ever, which in the rest of the 00 kits you will see I use the crap out of. Now, one thing I did have to paint, you can see right in here, the holes in the GN drives. That came with nothing, so had to give it a dab of green paint. Now, this is actually a very large GN drive for what it is, but if you've built the original O Gundam, the gray version, its GN drive is actually really big, but it would be an ancient version. But considering this one came off the 00, which is actually a smaller GN drive, it's really weird. Now, here we go. Oh, okay. I wanted to know what was back here, and it is a plug. I don't know. That's got to be for if you had an action stand to come in from the backside, I guess, because it's the same as the crotch peg. So I don't know. It doesn't have any weapon storage back there, so that's got to be what it's for. Just an extra action base. And the only real sticker I think this guy even comes with, I don't think there's one back there in the GN drive. I can't see. There might be like a black metallic sticker back there, like most 00 kits, and it comes with the eye stickers. Didn't even come with the camera sticker. I would probably go back and do that now. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. All right, let's talk articulation. It is an HG kit, so you've got the standard double ball joint head, and you can totally turkey neck. Yeah. And you can look up about that far. You can look down about that far. He's sad. He's sad, Gundam. He's just so sad. Okay. And you can actually get it to go all the way around if you do a little bit of clever maneuvering. The collar kind of gets in the way there, but it's all good. Now, the 00 kits were pretty good on articulation, that they didn't have to transform. So you get the kind of standard HG captured shoulder joint there, ball joint there, so it can go all the way around as it should. You got some bicep rotation, like that. You can reach up that far. Okay, that looks weird. You do get a single elbow, double elbow. Hold on, it's very clunky looking. Like, I mean, you look at it, it's very square. Let me see here. It looks like it would be a double elbow, but they didn't have the joint up in here. It just kind of fakes it. But there would be, if this was a different grade, there'd probably be another joint there. So single jointed elbow, you only get 90 degrees out of it, and you get the standard HG ball jointed hands. Sadly, I do like just the squareness of it is very nice. I swear there's got to be, it's rounded off right there. How is that not? Sorry, I needed to look at that. It really does look like there's an elbow joint there. Maybe they just really wanted to do that. Hold on, I gotta do some reconstructing here, guys. Good thing it comes apart real easy. Alright, so just like in the video, it shows you can do a little bit of an ab crunch. So it's got a little bit of rocking point right there, and then of course the waist articulation. You can get about that far before he runs into his own crotch armor. And of course, like I said earlier, the crotch armor does flap up, and because I didn't split it, it goes up together, and you can see his skirt. Okay, maybe that is a problem. The front skirts become more like skirts if you do that. Now, I did do a little bit of red touch-up right here, and obviously slopped and didn't catch it, so I need to go back and fix that. Now, these side skirts, they didn't even bother hiding the ball joint there. Let's see if I can get some light in it. Yeah, the ball joint just drops in right there. So you can rotate it all the way around if you really want to, but it's side skirt, why would you? It can come up about that far, like so, which means we can probably only get that much out of the splits. So it's not a full Jean-Claude, but it's really close. That's a very good stretch. Now, if I remember, let's see here, yep, actually you do get hip rotation. So you do get the hips that can wiggle back and forth. That's pretty cool. I kind of like that. it's hard to tell when you're going to want to use that, but you can. So you get that much out of the leg, and you get a standard just kind of hinge there. You get all the way around thigh rotation, and it did show we do get some double knee articulation. So if we can bring it all the way forward, and you get a full 180 on the knee, or if it's just right below 180, that's really good. Now, one thing that 00 Gundams always had was good legs. Well, some of them, that is. I'm not going to speak for all of them just yet. Okay, now what do we got here? We got a nice little captured kind of hinge there. You can rotate all the way around. Not that you need to rotate your foot all the way around, but you can. You actually do get ankle armor articulation. It's limited, but it's there. So you can, if I get my thumb out of the way, you can do that. So it just plugs into the ankle itself right there on a ball joint. Then you do get, it almost looked like it had foot articulation. And then it's just a standard ball joint, so you can get lots and lots of wiggle until you wiggle it loose. So this is a good little Gundam. Let me sit here and make him stand nice and good. See, he's good and planted. Let's go ahead and talk about weapons, because he does have a couple you already saw. You do get the nice kind of GN shield. So this is actually one big like particle emitter. It does emit a bit of GN particles to help him defend himself, and it does sort of just clamp over the arm. Like it just has a little bit of mechanical force in the handle goes right into the hand. So you just jam it up in there and rotate it on, and it just frictions on there just enough. It doesn't clamp on or clip on, which, you know, it wouldn't have killed him to do that. That's a nice, you know, short shield. I like that. Where is, okay, sorry, I couldn't see what I was working with. And you do get the little GN rifle here. Now, I don't know if this is his original equipment or this is what he ended up with in the final battle. I just don't know. I need to get the regular version. But you can see I did a couple little silver details on there. And yeah, at the end of the series, he was definitely using this about his only real weapon he could use to shoot down a lot of the enemy suits that were coming in. And while there's no weapon storage on him, it does just slide into the hand like so. And now he's looking pretty boss. That's essentially the the stance I have him in the case. Now, another accessory and weapon he does have is his little beam saber, and to get away from like the Grandpa Gundamness, they only gave him one, and I like that. So you pull it off over here, and it has just a weird circular slash straight peg hole there, because you do indeed get a full-on beam saber blade, and I like that. I like that a lot. That is just really neat. Let me pull the gun out of his hand. I do believe it'll just drop in. Yes, yes it will. And now he's ready for lightsaber battles. Kind of looks like a knight there. Come at thee! Alright, and he does come with, of course, one more accessory. You have the GN particle tank that replaces the GN drive on the back. So, in the final battle during the series, well, the final big battle, I should specify, he does not have a GN drive, because the GN drive is, in fact, on the 00. Matched up with the Exia GN drive. Oops, sorry, lost my piece here. So he's running around with just the particle tank filled up with GN particles and trying to do all he can before he runs out. So it's even got a couple little GN thrusters in there so he can move around really good. But it does have a very limited use. That's why when it came down to the actual final battle, Ribbons stole this from the 00 and somehow by hand crammed it onto the O Gundam for the actual final battle. Now, I do really, really like this guy. He actually lives with, instead of with all my other HGs, he lives with the master grades, because he goes with the Exia or 00 Quanta, so that's where he belongs. And I have my suits actually organized that way by the pilot, or you know, the actual evolutions of that suit. And that's kind of what we're going to look at over time here. So I'm going to go by generation you know, and by pilot. So it'll be pretty cool, guys. All right, so that's it for the O Gundam review. I hope you like this guy. It is available right now. They did a rerun of a lot of them. You can even get the original version of the O Gundam that's gray without all the cool colors. I want to get it. I just haven't yet, and it is pretty cheap, like you saw. So yeah, stick around. There will be a lot more 00 reviews to come. Make sure you check out all my other playlists, my Shoky Quickies, my IBO reviews, and all of my Gundam builds that I do over time. But I will catch you guys next time, and remember to always keep on building.